What's going on, everybody? This is John of JSMJ Music, where we learn music and we love music. I'm back with another video tutorial. What we do on this channel, we do musical instrumental tutorials and anything dealing with music. So if this channel is for you, go ahead and consider subscribing. Most importantly, hit that bell and turn on notifications so you can get every video that I send out, and it's just for you guys, okay? Today's tutorial is about the inversions of the perfect chords. Let's get started with the video. All right, students, what we're doing today is a tutorial on the inversions. We're going to invert chords, okay? So we're going to start inverting with these chords: the C major chord, the F major chord, and the G major chord. Now these chords are triads, which means they are 3-note chords, all right? A dyad is a 2-note chord, but this is a triad, a 3-note chord. All right, so with this 3-note chord right here, first of all, let's discuss inverting. Inverting is not changing, it's just rearranging the notes around. So let's take for an example here, if we have student A, student B, and student C. So we got A, B, and C students. Okay, so these students are in a line, like in a lunch line, maybe getting their tray, okay? All right, so student A is first, right? So if we take student A and they get their tray and they move to the back, now what does it look like? Student B steps up, and then student C is behind it, and student A is the last now. So it's B, C, A. All right? So now, what if B gets his tray and moves to the back? B moves to the back now. Now it's student C, A, and then B. All right, what happens next? Yeah, if you guessed it right. C moves to the back, and now it's A, B, and C again, just like it was in the beginning, okay? All right, so that's the same thing what's happening with inverting chords. This first note C moves to the back now, and now it's going to be E, G, C. And that's a first inversion. That's a C major chord, first inversion. Okay? All right, the second inversion, the E moves to the back. So it's G, C, E. And then the octave higher, when the G moves to the back, now it's just like it was in the beginning, but it's an octave higher, C, E, G. So that's how we invert the chord. And notice we're not changing the notes in the chord. Think about a room. Let's say if you have the same stuff in the room. Let's say if you got a TV, a dresser, and a bed. So you move the TV to somewhere else, you move the bed somewhere else, and you move the dresser somewhere. It's still inside of the room, but it's going to look different because you moved it around. But is it actually really different? No, you use the same things in there, but you made it look different, okay? So that's what we're doing with these chords. We're making them look different, making them sound different, but it's really not a difference in them as much as the sound. You know, it's the chords, the notes are still the same, so it still forms the same chord. So it's C major chord. So how do we finger these notes? Well, it's thumb, middle, pinky, and this is a C major root. Why? Because the C is the key that we're playing in. That's the scale. So that C is the root note. So this would be a C major chord root position, all right? Because the C is in front. All right, when we change the root, it's still the C major chord, but it's not the root because the note, the key that we're in is not the first note. All right? So now it becomes C major chord, first inversion, okay? E, G, C, and we use our thumb, index for G, and our pinky for C. And we use thumb, middle, pinky for our second inversion. Another way I like to teach my students to think about it is the root has an equal amount of white notes in between it if you're just looking at the white keys. So we got C, skip a white, next white, skip a white, then next white. All right, so that's a root. First inversion is when you have one note in between the first two. First inversion, one note in between the first two, and you got two in between the last two. So that's the first inversion, when the gap is just 1 at the beginning. Okay. All right. Second inversion is when you have 2 between the first 2 notes. Okay, second inversion, and 1 in between the last 2. Now I'm just counting just the white keys, okay, not the black keys, okay. So even amount, 1 in between the first 2, 2 in between the first 2. Second inversion. All right, and I'm using the sustain pedal too to make this sound sustain. All right, so the next chord that we're going to use is the F major chord. So what's the 3 notes in the F major chord? F, A, and C. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with it. We're going to use our thumb, middle, pinky for the root. Why is it called the root? Because the F, that's the key that we're playing in the F major scale, okay? All right. First inversion, same fingering. It doesn't change. Now it's ACF. And then it'll be CFA. Same configuration though. We got the root, even amount of white keys in between it. And then we have ACF, and that's when our index, the first inversion, that's when our index comes down. And then the second inversion, 2 in between the first 2. All right. All right. So basically, an easy way to think about it is, all you have to do is just figure out, you have to know the notes in the chords, which is for the C major chord, C, E, G. So if you know those notes in the chord, then you'll know where your thumb needs to be on every position. On the root position in the C major chord, your thumb should be on C. In the first inversion, your thumb should be on E. And in the second inversion, your thumb should be on G for the C major chord, okay? And so when I call out C major root, you should go straight with your thumb and make it even all the way across. When I call for the first inversion, thumb on E, and then you remember, index finger is down. So if you can remember how to get your finger positions, then it'll be easier to just go to any inversion without trying to go with it in order like this. That's the easy way to think about it, but you want to be able to use these inversions at any given moment, okay? So you need to know how to get to them just straight, going straight to it, mixing it up, okay? And so with the second inversion, my thumb should be on G, and I should have 2 in between. All right? The same thing for F, F-A-C. And then A-C-F, and then C-F-A. And also for the G major chord, G, B, D. And then it's going to be B, D, G. First inversion, index finger comes down. And then second inversion, the thumb goes on the D, then G, B. So basically, every note gets a chance to lead out front. Just like I was saying in the lunch line, each note gets a chance to be in the front, okay? C was in the front first, E is in the front now, G is in the front now. F is in the front, A is in the front, and C is in the front now. G is in the front, B is in the front, and D is in the front now. So that's how you invert any chord. It doesn't matter which chord you use, as long as you, so whenever you learn a chord, it can be a 4-note chord. Okay, so you see F, A, C, E, and then it'll be A, C, F, A, A, C, E, F. So that's how it will sound inverted, and then you see how it produces a different sound. use that one. That's why. But I do use that one. And I use this one. And also that one. So I use those chords, I know. But this one, I don't use that one. It doesn't really sound as good as the other ones, okay? All right. And that's what I'm talking about when I use that F. R. Let's see how that sounds. So it works, but that inversion. Now, what do inversions do for your playing? They give you options, okay? Can you play a song with just the root chord? Yes, you can. But what's going to happen to the song is going to sound bland. It's not going to sound, good. It's not going to sound. It's not going to sound right with just. It's going to sound monotonous. It's not. It's not going to reach out to you in any type of way. Because let me give you an example of that, okay? I'm just going to use the root note. So let's do Mary Had a Little Lamb, okay? Here we go. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. Now let's add some inversions to it to make it different, okay? Let's go. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. As you see, I used all different inversions in that, and it gave it a little more life. So when you're playing songs, you just don't want to go to the root every time you need to hit a C chord. You may want to go to a first inversion or a second inversion. As a matter of fact, you can and all I'm doing is playing those chords, C, F, and G, as you see, and arpeggio. Here's the roots. But notice how these inversions sound a little bit better. Same chords, but inverted differently. Let's see if I can play. Let's use this. Even that sounds good. Okay. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and tell me which one of those inversions did you like in the comment section below. Okay. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, turn on notification by hitting that bell at the top so you can get every video that I send out. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video tutorial. Go on to some of my other ones. This is John of JCMJ Music, where we learn music and we love music.